Hi, welcome or welcome back to Sarah Lily Makes. My name is Sarah and this is my journaling space here on YouTube where I like to document and talk about all the things that I've been making. It's been a few months since I've last recorded and uploaded an episode. Life has been chaotic, so I just haven't had an opportunity to sit down and record anything for a while. So today's episode is going to be a bit of a long one. Some housekeeping before I get into the episode. Everything that I talk about I will include in the description box below. I will do my best to include all the details for the yarn, pattern, stores where I purchase patterns from. So if you're interested in anything that I talk about, I will include it below. If you haven't yet liked and subscribed, please do. It would mean a lot to me. And if you don't already follow me on other social media platforms, I am on Instagram and I post on Ravelry as well. I try to do my best to update my projects as best as I can on Ravelry. I think there's one more thing. I will include timestamps. I will have chapters to separate the content. I have knitting and I have sewing, and then at the end I will have a brief life update. Many reasons why I haven't been recording or sharing or anything like that. I'll have that at the end. I'll do my knitting first. All of the yarn and knitting, finished objects, works in progress and all of that I'll do first. Then I'll do sewing. I have 2 sewing projects. I actually don't have them here, but I'll share pictures. And then my life update at the end. So I will get into today's episode because I'm trying to be as brief as possible and not have to do a lot of editing because it's going to be a long one. So I want to just be as precise and not have to edit much. So I'll just get started. I don't have a finished object on today. I just have a t-shirt on because I thought it'd be helpful to try on my finished objects because I haven't had an opportunity to get pictures as well. I will start chronologically with the garment that I finished first, and that is the Hilton Cardigan. I have a pile of knits here. I have 7 finished objects because it's been 3 months, so bear with me, please. And this has been folded in my closet because I have not worn this in like 2 months, so I will try it on really fast. Okay, this is the Hilton Cardigan. Like I said, this is a pattern from Sandnes Garn, and I have the booklet right here. This is the pattern number 2403-5. And they released this at the beginning of the year, sometime maybe January, February, and I saw it and I wanted to make it. So I did. I actually shared this in my last episode. This was a mostly finished object. I ran out of yarn. And the reason I ran out of yarn is because in the booklet, the yarn required was incorrect, at least for my size. Let's see. I used it says 4 balls. No, it says 8 balls of the main color and then 12 balls of the contrast color of Pure Gint. I'll get to the yarn details in a sec. So I realized I don't need 12 balls of yarn for a contrast color, so I went with 4 balls of yarn and I ran out, so I had to purchase more. A little bit about this. This is knit top down. You start at the back panel, you do short rows. I'll turn around. And you do short row shaping, and then you pick up for one side and then the other side while alternating stripes, and then you join as you would for a top-down garment. You join at the armpits and then you knit down. Then you pick up the sleeves. You do a little short rows here for a little sleeve cap, and then you knit down, and then you do a double knit button band and add buttons at the end. So this has a wide sleeve that I actually really like. Maybe a year, 2 years ago, I would have opted to do decreases and taper the sleeve, but today I really like it. I love like the bit of wide, I don't know, I just like it now. It's not something I would have gravitated toward 2 years ago, but I really like it now. The yarn that I used is Peer Gynt and alpaca, folgetråd, and tin silk mohair. So the main color, the red, is poppy, Peer Gynt, and alpaca folgetråd, because I had that already in my stash. And then the contrast color is Peer Gynt and tin silk mohair in the colorway Blossom. I didn't have that one. The reason I didn't go with alpaca for the contrast color is because it didn't have the Blossom available in alpaca at the time. I'm not sure if they do or not still. I haven't checked on it in a while, but I'm happy with my yarn choice. There is very little, if any, difference in the gauge between the stripes. So it worked out, and I am really happy with this garment. I haven't worn it in a few months because it is like it's 3-digit temperatures today. I think our high today is 111 degrees, so Fahrenheit. So I haven't had an opportunity to wear this in a few months, but I did wear it when we went to the coast. I really like it. I love like this detail here, and yeah. So this was a really straightforward and simple pattern to follow, and I would highly recommend it if you are looking for a cardigan pattern for the fall. I definitely want to make another one of these. So that is the Hilton cardigan from Sandnes Garn, and I will move on to my second finished object. I just look at my notes real fast. Okay, my second finished object is the Lyon Sweater from Petite Knit. Now, this is also folded and has been in my closet for a little while, but I had been wearing this a lot when I had finished it off. Let me just put it over my head. Okay. So, I was wearing this a lot, and it was getting dirty. Let me just share it real fast here. It's been folded, so it's a little crinkly, but I love the length. I love like the overall fit of this, and I have every intention of making another one of these. Let's talk about the yarn a little bit, and then I'll share my problems, because there's always a problem. I knitted this with Sunday from Sandnes Garn, Hell Devil. The main color is almond, and the contrast color is plastic pink, and those are both Petite Knit / Sandnes Garn collaboration colors. I had wanted to make this in the fall of last year. This was on my fall plans for last year, so I said I need to get it done, and I knitted this, and I loved it, and I wore it so much, and it got dirty, and I washed it, and there was a spot here. I'll share a close-up in a second, but there was a spot here that was black from like grease or something, my daughter's shoes or something. I don't know, and I couldn't get it out, and I was scrubbing it a bit, and I couldn't get it out. So I brilliantly thought I could use my depiller to try to depill it out. That clearly worked. It didn't, actually. I don't know if you can see, but there's a patch right here now that I duplicate stitched up because I made a hole. So this is just a temporary fix right now, and it's working, but I'm not really wearing it, so I can't tell if it'll last and hold for very long, but it's not too bad. I don't want to pull it and stretch it too much, but you can see that it's a bit, you know, the stitches are a lot larger. I used 2 strands of Sunday to duplicate stitch it up, and I probably could have done 1 strand because there was a little bit of stitches there left, but it is what it is. I might fix it back if it comes out, but I don't know. And I don't know if I said what this pattern was. But yes, the Lyon Sweater, and it's a pattern from Petite Knit. So I made this sweater because I wanted to make a matching, I made a matching one for my daughter last year when she had released this pattern, and I wanted to have a semi-matchy mom and daughter moment, and so yeah, she still fits in hers, so we have a couple, we might have the rest of this year to match. It's not an identical match. Hers is whipped cream and the plastic pink, and mine is almond and the plastic pink. So yeah, that's the Lyon Sweater. That's all I think I have to say about it. I really like this pattern. It's the contiguous shoulder, European shoulder construction that she has done with the Poppy Tee, Eva Cardigan, Maggie Cardigan, I think, too. And quite a bit of a pattern. She has this type of construction. And yeah, I like it. I definitely will be making another one. Not right now, but maybe in the fall I'll make another one again. But my stripes are, I'm actually really pleased with how my stripes turned out. The join for my stripes. There's a tiny jog, but nothing too noticeable. But yeah, I like it. I'm really pleased with this project, and I really liked it. I loved wearing it. I love Sunday. I love knitting with Sunday. I love knitting with double Sunday, and I will take this off now. All right, that is my second finished object. Let's see, I have finished object number 3, and that was a test knit for Coco Amore Knitwear, and I will get that and throw this on. Okay. All right, this is another cardigan. This has also been sitting in my closet, a little folded, so it's a little wrinkly. This is the Amesbury Cardigan from Coco Amore Knitwear, and I have it buttoned up because I like keeping my cardigans buttoned up for some reason. If I'm wearing it over a dress or something, I will leave it unbuttoned, and yeah. So this is, I think this pattern was just released. I've been a bad tester, and I haven't done a great job of sharing my finished object stuff on my Instagram feed. It's just been a lot going on in my life lately, so I haven't really been posting much on Instagram, with save a few stories here and there. But anyway, this is a recent release pattern from her. I tested this in April, and I really love this. I have every intention of making this again if I get around to it. But this is a saddle shoulder design. So you create this back panel first, then you pick up the fronts, these front portions here, and you create that saddle shoulder there detail, and then you knit down, you join, you knit the body down, you pick up the button bands, and then you pick up the neck. You do the sleeves before you do this. I mean, you could do that, but you could do that in whatever order the sleeves of the button bands, but you have to do this button band in the order that it's written in the pattern, because you do this ribbed collar last. So the button band is a double knit button band, which I love, but I kind of messed up a little bit where one of my bands is like 1 centimeter too shorter. but it doesn't really bother me that much. I'm wearing it buttoned up anyway, so it's not that deep. I knitted this with Knitting for Olive merino and mohair in the color Pink Daisies. And I could have knitted my sleeves just a tad bit longer. It's like right at my wrist, and I normally like my sweaters to be like here, but if I tug on it, it kind of gets there with me tugging on it, but I like it to naturally reach there instead of at my wrists. But the way this, with the amount of ease this garment has, I think the length works really well at my wrist, and it's a less positive ease. It's not neutral, but it's a lot less positive ease than I'm used to in my garments, so I'm happy with the fit and a little less happy with the sleeve length, but it's okay. I have yarn remaining if I wanted to go back and add some length to the sleeve, but I'm fine with the length as it is right now, and I don't really care to go back and fix it right now because I won't be wearing this for a few more weeks or months, so it's okay. So this is the Amesbury Cardigan from Coco Amore Knitwear, which is a saddle shoulder construction, and I really like this garment a lot. There's a lot of intricate details. I think if you are wanting to try new details, I think this is a really great cardigan, really great pattern to try to knit. My next finished object is another Sandnes Garn pattern, and that is the Facile Cardigan. So this garment, I have one strand of yarn not woven in. Actually, I have more than one, but that's totally fine. I actually finished this and I did not wash and block it because I just didn't see a point because I just didn't see a point in it. I have been wearing it though, unwashed and unblocked. I am one to say wash and block your garments, but I feel like this doesn't really need to be washed and blocked right now, especially with the weather that we're having. So I love this color. I love this color. I have this color in a couple other fibers, and I have every intention of knitting it up really soon, but this color is just gorgeous. This is the same color as the Hilton, the contrast color on my Hilton cardigan. This is Blossom Pink from Sandnes Garn, and this yarn is ballerina chunky mohair. So this is knitted with 2 strands of ballerina chunky mohair from Sandnes Garn held together, and it's a really straightforward, really quick, really, dare I say, easy pattern. It's marketed as beginner, I think. Yeah, there are no short rows in this pattern. It's all knit flat from the back. You pick up the front, you knit down, you join, and then you knit the rest of the body flat. Then you pick up the sleeves and you do ribbing. Oh, you do ribbing at the bottom of this as well. So there's no finishing besides the ribbing on the sleeves and the bottom, but there's no finishing on the edge of the band because you knit the last stitch and slip the first stitch, I believe. They use that in a lot of their patterns where they don't require finishing. So I like that a lot, and I think it creates a very even and very neat finish that you don't need to do like an I-cord or a button band or a rib button band or anything. But yeah, this was very straightforward and very easy, and I'm happy with this. Really straightforward, very easy to understand and knit very quickly because it is a bulky weight garment, I'm pretty sure. 2 strands of ballerina chunky mohair. Essentially 4 strands of tin silk mohair. But yeah, that is my Facile cardigan, and so yes, I am happy with this. I would love to wear this when it cools down again because it is fluffy and it is soft, even unwashed. My next finished garment is another Sandnes Garn pattern. What else is new? This is the Amelie Sweater, which is pattern 2404-8. I love this. I have been wearing it a lot. My older daughter stole it, and she's been wearing it a lot too. So I have every intention of making another one of these in a different color. Okay. This is knitted with Lina from Sandnes Garn on 3.5 millimeter needles. It is a boat neck garment. It's hard to see with my white t-shirt underneath, but I love the shape of this garment, and it has wide sleeves, which I mentioned earlier, but I absolutely love. I just really am enjoying this bell sleeve here. All right. I could have made this a tad longer for myself, but it's okay because my daughter, she's been wearing it a lot and it hits her where she wants to, where she likes to have it. And okay, let's get a little bit into the details. I said this was knit with Lina from Sandnes Garn. Lina is a cotton linen viscose blend from Sandnes Garn. It's a lovely plant fiber that I absolutely love using. I've used it in so many of my summer knits, and I have a lot more to use up. So I love Lina. This is the color I used, their sample color, which was, oh yes, white 1002, which in hindsight might not have been the best color as a mom, but I don't care. I'll just throw it to wash in the washing machine, and I throw it to dry in the dryer for a tiny bit when it's a little damp still. So you knit the back doing short rows, and then you knit all the way down until the armhole edge. Then you pick up the left, then you pick up the right, and you join that very quickly. And then you knit all the way down to the armhole edge, and then you join the whole thing. You knit in the round until you reach the bottom, and then you bind off in round. Pick up the sleeves along the edge here and edge here. And to get this bell sleeve, you increase your needle size from 3.5 to 4.5. I'm pretty sure. It's been a few weeks. Yes, from 3.5 to 4.5 millimeter needles, and then you bind off in the round. And then for the neck edge, you do a 2-stitch I-cord edge, which I loved. It's very, very fine. It's like a really thin, it's like almost not even. It doesn't even look like an I-cord edge, but it completes this garment in my opinion, and it makes it look a lot neater. And I have another garment that I'm knitting that's similar to this in my whips that I will probably do the same to my neck edge. But that's the Amelie sweater, and I have every intention of making another one of these this summer because I really love this garment. I've been wearing it a lot. My daughter's been wearing it a lot, and I have been washing it quite a bit and it's been holding up really well. I love Lina for that because fabric doesn't deteriorate with a lot of wash and wear, in my opinion. I wash my Lina garments on a delicate cycle, and then I hang it to dry for the majority of the drying period, and then I toss it in the dryer while it's still a little bit damp just to soften it up a bit. And that seems to be working for me. I've tried a few different techniques, and I think that's what's been working for me the best so far. I said this was knitted on 3.5mm needles, and it went by pretty quickly because I was really wanting to have this garment in my closet. So I knit on this monogamously once I cast on, and I had it finished off like in like less than 10 days. So it was a fairly quick knit, and I am so happy with this. It's so chic and classic, yet at the same time very comfortable to wear. So yeah, that's my Millie sweater. I love it a lot. I wish it was a tiny bit longer, but it's fine for a summer garment that it hits me right at my wrist, and I'm happy with that. So that's the Millie sweater, and moving on to my second to last garment. And I will not be trying this one on because I'll try my best to insert pictures because I can't try this on to share. I mean, I could, but I won't. All right, this is the Lola Dress from Sandnes Garn, and it is never ending. Don't look at my buttons. They don't look great. I might change my buttons because I don't like them too much. But this is the Lola Dress from Sandnes Garn. This is also knitted with Lena. You know what? I'm gonna try it on, actually. Give me a second. I actually really love this. And again, my buttons are so lopsided. I have to fix this top button. It's kind of driving me a little crazy. Okay, this is the Lola Dress. It is almost to my ankles. I started this dress last summer in May, I think. Let's see when I started this. Okay, May 25th, and I finished this June 25th of this year. So I got bored. I finished most of the bodice. I picked up the skirt and I started knitting. I knit probably to like my mid-thigh, and then I put it on hold. I hadn't done this button band yet. You have to do this button band before you join, because you overlap the fabric as you pick up stitches for the skirt, which I learned doing this garment. This is really annoying me for some weird reason. I have to fix that. Okay, yeah, you pick up, I don't have the pattern, do I? Okay, the Lola Dress is from this booklet, pattern booklet 2305. It's labeled as medium, but I think it's a beginner could attempt this for sure. It's knit on 4mm needles and then 3.5mm needles for the moss stitch for the neck here, the bands, and the frills at the end of the frills. And then for the skirt, there are almost 400 stitches on my skirt portion here. So when you join and you pick up this skirt here, you are picking up, you double the stitches from what you have here. It's completely doubled in the skirt, which I love actually, except it was just a lot of stitches, a lot of stuck in it, and I got bored. And I put it down, and then I picked it back up this year because I was like, I have to finish this dress. I want to wear it. I'm gonna finish it. So I did. I finished it up last month. I'm really happy with it, save this annoying thing here, which I will probably fix, I don't know. And I really love the frills. The frills was a really fun, a little fun detail. It's made using short rows. You pick up double stitches as well. You increase a stitch for every stitch, and then you work the frill, this wider portion using short rows. So I just really like that, and I thought it was it's a nice little detail, and the moss stitch is cute. I did not do the moss stitch at the hem of the skirt because I just couldn't be bothered. I was ready to be done, and I just bound off in knit stitches, and that was that. I used 20 balls of yarn, and the colorway that I used is Rose Lavender. So 20 balls of lina at 50 grams a ball is 1,000 grams. Am I doing that right? Is that math correct? So 1 kilogram. This dress is a kilo. And then, yeah, I don't find it's like cumbersome or heavy or anything, or extra heavy. I wear a lot of dresses, so don't look at that. So I just, yeah, I am fine with wearing this dress, and I really love it. And that is the Lola dress. I have one more finished object. Let me take this off. Okay, my final finished object is another Sandnes Garn pattern. I have not actually washed this yet either. Oh, there's a recurring theme. But I have woven in most of the ends, except that one that you just saw. So this is the Augusta Singlet, which is from this pattern booklet. Their Ticklina booklet. It is booklet 136. And this is knitted with Ticklina, like I said. I did just a long tail cast on for the cast on edge instead of doing ribbing. And then you knit it up. I like the depth of the armhole. And you do decreases along the armhole. Then you separate. Once you get here, you separate for these two sections. And then you knit one side up. You put the stitches on hold. You knit one side up. You put the stitches on hold. You do the same for the back. And then you Kitchener stitch join at the top here. And it took me less than 2 days to knit this because it is knit with Ticklina on 5 or 5.5 millimeter needles. One of those. Let me double check actually, just to be correct. It is knitted with 5.5 millimeter needles. And if you do the ribbing is done on 4.5. So the first two that I did, this is my third version. The first two that I did the ribbing, and I'm really enjoying the raw edge of summer knits this year, so I just went with that. I'll be making another one because I like it a lot. I've made 3, so why not make more? And that is it for my finished objects. I have 3 whips to talk about. I will start with my smallest whip that I started yesterday, and I have made little to no progress on it. 1 second, it is tangled up. So I haven't knitted a petite knit pattern in a few months, and I thought I'd remedy that. I really like the Amelie Tee pattern that she just released, and I decided I wanted to kind of mimic my Lyon that I kind of ruined, but not quite, but kind of ruined. So I just casted on this yesterday, I think, or the day before. I can't remember. But I'm using whipped cream, and this pink might look familiar. Although, is it the same pink? Yes, it is the same pink, in fact. It is 4213, which is Blossom from Sandnes Garn. I said I was going to use this yarn in more things, didn't I? Okay, so this is a fingering weight tee from Petite Knit. She just released it maybe a month or 2 ago. I don't know. I can't remember. I don't keep track of these things. I kind of do. Anyway, so it's a top-down tee. You work, it kind of reminds me of the Cumulus blouse, but with a 3-stitch raglan instead of a 1, Cumulus tee, sorry. Blouse, same difference. It's got a 3-stitch raglan instead of a 1-stitch raglan, and I like that, you know. You work the back portion first flat, and then you join once you reach the required stitch count or for your size, whatnot. And it's pretty straightforward in my opinion, except you're doing stripes, and the stripes are, it's a repeat of like, I'll insert a picture. It's like 6, 4, 2, something, or the, it's a, yeah, it's a bunch of numbers. So I've done 1 stripe so far, and I started back with my main color. And yeah, I am probably not going to work on this much yet because I have another garment that I'm really enjoying that I casted on yesterday that I will get to now. So that's the Amelie Tee from Petite Knit, and I'm using these 2 colors, which isn't exactly the same as, it's similar, it looks similar, but I don't mind. I'm kind of in my pink era, I think, right now. But anyway, moving on. My next work in progress that I have some progress on is something I casted on yesterday, and it is moving along pretty well, if I do say so myself. This is the blouse number 1 from My Favorite Things Knitwear, and this is what I have thus far. I am knitting this with Sandnes Garn Tin Lina held double, and this is what I have of my first 2 balls so far. I am like halfway done with these 2 balls already. So I am like halfway through the first set of increases for the shoulder. This is very similar to the Amelie Tee that I shared earlier. It's another boat neck style, except the construction is a little different than that one. That one is worked, the Amelie Tee is worked flat for the back, then you join the front. Then you do the front and then you join. This one, you are working it contiguously. So you join in the round, you cast on in the round and join, and then you work straight down right away. And then you're doing a sleeve cap here for both sleeves. But it's really, I'm enjoying this construction too. I don't mind knitting flat. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. So I wanted to work on this one and see how they compare. And I like both styles. To me, they look very similar. The exception is, the other exception, besides it being knitted around completely, is that this is knit on 5mm needles. Let me see, I have the pattern right here. This one is knitted on, yes, 5mm needles. And I lied, it's not, you do work flat a little bit for short rows. Not flat, but pulling back and forth to add some short rows to this. So yeah, I love this color. This is Poppy, I think, or I will correct myself if I'm wrong. In the description box below, I will add the right color names or numbers that I'm using, because I can't remember if it's Poppy or not. Might be that orange feeling, but I think this might be Poppy. Anyway, this is a color that I am not used to. I made another summer garment last year that I am embracing in a color similar to this with Ticklina. And I am embracing it this year. So I'm embracing all the bright colors, the hot pink, that Hilton Cardigan hot bright red, and then this. And yeah, I'm embracing color this year. That was one of my goals, to embrace color, and I am loving it. So I'm an introverted person, so it's a little bit out of my comfort zone. So that's that. Anyway, my third and final work in progress that I have more. It's just not garments that I have been working on lately, because they're more winter garments or fall garments, colder weather garments. But my third and final whip that I have been working on is another dress and another Sandnes Garn pattern. This is the Minnie Dress, and let me show you the booklet really fast. It is pattern 2404-3. 02. And I am using the colors that they used in the sample as well, because why not? That is just me. I have a lot done so far, but not quite. So if I'm putting it against me right now, and I am like right here. This is where, so that's what I have thus far. I gotta go up. Yeah. I'm about halfway done, I guess. So this is a bottom-up dress. I like bottom-up tank tops and bottom-up spaghetti strap tops because I don't like wrangling a ton of needles and yarn at the top here and then joining here and then joining here. I prefer bottom-up for if it's a thin strap garment because I find it easier to manage my yarn and easier to manage my needles and easier to manage the fabric. I am still undecided how I feel about this in particular because I've not had to separate yet. I have about this much to go before I separate, so I might have a different opinion once I get there, but we'll see. So far I am enjoying it. It is a slow moving process. This dress is knitted on 3.5mm needles, and I'm using Tin Lina and Mandarin Petite, both Sandnes Garn yarns, and the colors I'm using is peach and white. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm using. But yes, it's knit bottom up. You just cast on, you do a couple of rounds, then you start decreasing, and you decrease. For my size, I have to do 19 sets of decreases. I am on decrease round number 13. So I'm keeping track of it like that. I have 6 more decreases to go before I split for the front and the back, and then the shoulder straps. So I am enjoying it. It's slow, it's stockinette. It's a little boring sometimes, but when I want some TV knitting, that's what I'm using as my TV knitting. And that's it for my whips. I do have some acquisitions that I'll share because it's been a few months, and I do have some plans for these acquisitions. I recently received this from the pre-order. Yes, it's another bright red. It's not the same red, but it's another bright red. I want to make the Eva cardigan with this. This is Sorella's Cashmere DK, which is 80% superwash wool, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon, 231 yards per 100 grams, and this is what I'm going to be using for another Eva cardigan from Petite Knit. I made an Eva cardigan last year, and it is probably my most worn cardigan from last year. And I really wanted another one, and I've been trying to figure out what color to knit. And then, excuse me, when Sorella had this pre-order, this was their book club pre-order or library something. They had a sample with this color, and I immediately said, yes, that's what I'm gonna make. And this is the color Positano, and I love it. I've already started winding up the yarn, even though I have no intention of making it just yet. That's okay. We'll get to it when we get to it. Another pre-order I had was from Explore Knits and Fibers, and this was their neons or monochrome, I think, monochrome collection. And I got a sweater's quantity of BFF for life, best friends forever for life. The color is best friends forever for life. And I got it on cashmere cavern sock and cereal packet lace. I want to make a sweater. I don't know what sweater yet. This is what I was talking about, my color and my pink era. Yeah, something for fall. I don't know yet what, but it's for a sweater for fall. And I got 2 more yarns from their monochrome collection. I got grapefruit and I got lemon drop, which I don't know. I like it. This is to make a Manhattan tee from Tory Knits NYC. I want to make a Manhattan tee this summer. And I want to make another summer tee, but I don't know what yet. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know, because I want to knit both of these for summer tees. This is both cashmere cavern sock. And I've said before that I am not opposed to wool in the summer. I wear wool all year round, and that I don't mind. I love it. I don't mind at all. I have 2 more acquisitions, and they are from Woolberry. I am part of their collective, and I have been really loving it. I saw that they released this one. I can't remember if it was last month or the month before, but I got this. I got a sweater's quantity worth of this, or a t-shirt's quantity worth of this. On more Flower Shop. The colorway name is Flower Shop, and it is a gorgeous neutral with a lot of darker speckles. There's purples and orange and dark mossy greens, and it's got a pink undertone to it, which I really love. I don't know yet what I'm making with this either, but I have one more Woolberry, and I really wanted to try their linen base. So this is berry linen, which is 50% alpaca, 25% linen, 25% silk. And the colorway is Surf's Up, and this was from their book club collection. I think this was 2 months ago that I got this. And I intend to make another summer tee with this. I am thinking the Cumulus tee, because this is such a gorgeous variegated color that I really wanted to let the yarn shine. And I feel like a Cumulus tee is a great basic garment that I could use this for. But yeah, that is my yarn acquisitions and somewhat future plans. And that's it for my knitting. I have 2 sewing projects. I did not bring them with me here because I was only thinking about the knitting, but I'll insert pictures here. Recently, my 3 older kids, they are involved in children's theater, and we recently did the production of Wizard of Oz, and my son was the Tin Man. And we couldn't, I am on the costumes committee. I've mentioned that before. I'm on the costumes committee for this children's theater, and I took on the task of getting a Tin Man costume. My son was a Tin Man. I took on that task. We tried renting, we tried purchasing, nothing worked. We couldn't find something that worked, that the director liked, that worked for the amount of dancing that he was doing in the show. So I decided to make it from scratch. I'll insert some pictures from the show here, but it was an interesting process. I self-drafted the whole thing. I used a pair of pants and a shirt that he had, and just if I have pictures of the process, I'll also include it here, but it was just an interesting process. I used some really inexpensive, shiny, metallic silver fabric, and I stabilized the whole thing with a stabilizer that I found at my local craft store. So I stabilized the whole thing with 2 different stabilizers, one thicker for the shoulder and the arms and the knee pads, and then I did a lighter stabilizer for the entire body. And I attached some silver snaps to make it look like grommets. Is that what the word is? Anyway, I just did something, and it worked. And yeah, I'll have some pictures here. But that was a process. That was a learning process for me, and it turned out well. Everyone was happy with it, and he was able to move in it, and that was that. And then and then as well, for the show, my daughter likes to dress up as a character in whatever show that my kids are doing, and she likes to dress up as one of the characters, and she wanted to be Dorothy, so I made her a Dorothy dress. I used a pinafore pattern that I had from Violet Fields Threads, and I used some blue gingham fabric that I purchased at our local fabric store, and I made it for her. And I'll put another picture of her here, and she loved it. And she wanted to wear it every day, so that was fine. So those are my 2 sewing projects. And I am almost to an hour now. So, life update. The past 3 months, life has been a lot. We have had some medical emergencies that everything has been sorted now. I ended up, myself and my daughter both. So, interruptions hopefully done now. Yes, so I ended up, we were out of town visiting college for my son who just recently graduated. We were visiting UC Santa Cruz, and I started feeling very sick, and I ended up in the ER. Everything was fine. I had an infection, and we were able to get that under control. A few weeks ago, my daughter ended up in the ER as well for something, and then she had to have an emergency dental surgery a few days after. My son and I have been traveling a little bit to visit some colleges in the later part of spring, and then he graduated from high school, and that has been taking up a lot of our family time. The end of the school year, we're a homeschooling family, I've mentioned before, so things have just been chaotic, and things are finally coming back down. The kids show a few weeks ago took a lot of my time because I was doing a lot of the costumes. It's a lot of just things that just add up, and it just became a lot. So I had to take a minute and step back from recording and taking time for that and getting all of that done. We have some summer plans, but I will try to do my best to return and record and upload a monthly episode. It's been 3 months, so I really hope that I can do better and get some episodes out for the rest of the year. I have been knitting, like I've shared some knitting. I've been doing some crafting, so it's just taking the time to record and upload, and hopefully I don't have to do a whole lot of editing. I know there's been some dogs barking, some kids coming in and whatnot, so I do have some plans that I want to get through for the rest of the summer. I haven't really been working on my summer plans list as well as I would have liked. I've kind of lost interest in some of the patterns, but that's the nature of it anyway. So yeah, that's it for today. That's about an hour, which I thought it would be longer than that, but that's good. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope something inspired you, and I hope to see you next time. I'll be back hopefully soon, and I hope you have a great summer. I hope you have a safe 4th of July. It's 4th of July week here in Northern America, and I'm planning to take it chill. Might go to the fair or something with the kids. That's not very chill, but anyway. Yeah, I hope to see you next time, and wish you health and happy knitting. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.